Good evening and welcome, everybody. It's so good to see so many people here. You know, whenever I go to a concert and get to hear the sound check, I feel like I'm getting something free. So I hope you all enjoyed hearing a little extra music tonight. I'm Bill Maley. I'm the town supervisor here in Brighton. Welcome to tonight's celebration of Black History Month here in Brighton. Black history is American history. And today, that basic fundamental fact is more important than ever. It's more important that we have the understanding of that and that we incorporate that understanding that Black history is American history, not just during the month of February, but throughout the entire year. As we regularly do at significant community gatherings, tonight we acknowledge that the town of Brighton is situated on the ancestral and traditional lands of the Onondaga tribe of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, whom we recognize and respect as the traditional custodians of this land throughout the generations. We pay our respects to Onondaga elders, both past and present. The history, the culture, and the traditions of Onondaga are truly worthy of our understanding, just as Black history is truly worthy of our understanding and our study. And we praise all of those who keep those traditions alive. We recognize that the study of Onondaga history, culture, and traditions is of ongoing importance if we are to truly understand the history, the culture, and traditions of the Brighton community, the state of New York, and our nation. We support efforts to ensure that we and future generations continue to respect and recognize the Onondaga in a way that is honest and truthful, so that in the words of Sacagawea, the great Haudenosaunee chief and orator, who's also known as Red Jacket, we may always work together to brighten the chain of friendship. I do want to introduce some people that are here tonight. We have a number of elected officials from the town of Brighton. Town board members Robin Wilt, Nate Salzman, Christine Corrado are all here. Council member Chris Werner is on vacation this week and he sends his regrets. Town Justice, our new Town Justice, Vic Vilkew, is with us. Judge, thank you for being here. We are very appreciative. We have representatives from the school district here. Thank you. I also want to introduce members of the Town of Brighton IDEA Board. The IDEA Board is our Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Advisory Board, a board that was set up to help, among other things, draft what is a really one-of-a-kind inclusion, diversity, and equity action plan, our IDEA plan. You will look around other towns in this area, you won't find another IDEA plan. So we're proud of that. Why don't I just ask the members of our IDEA board who are here to please stand. And Miriam Moore, who is also, she's the reason we're here. She's put this event together tonight. Miriam is our Chief Diversity Officer for the town of Brighton. Again, you will look far and wide and not find another town that has made the decision to hire a Chief Diversity Officer, a recommendation that was in our IDEA plan. So Miriam, I know, is here, but in any event, thank you, Miriam. Please give her a round of applause. And Christopher is our ASL interpreter. ASL interpreting is something we do at all of our meetings as well. We got a lot of art, a lot of entertainment tonight, so we're going to start right out. Dr. Paul Boutet is a Renaissance man. Organist, minister, teacher, founder, director of rock music and a whole lot more than that. Tonight, he joins us with these great students, and I'm so pleased to see so many parents of these students here in the house with us. Students from rock music who have the great privilege of learning directly from Dr. Boutte and the other teachers who are with us tonight. They are passing down wisdom generation to generation, and that is a wonderful thing. So let me start the evening by introducing and bringing to the microphone Dr. Paul Boutte.
Good evening. Well, first of all, I'd like you to meet the director of rock music. This is Miss Rachel Mills, right over here. And Rachel's going to talk to you about what the program is and the things that we offer. And we shall begin. We're doing 3 different flavors of music tonight, as you see all over the place, right? So go ahead, Rachel.
So Rock Music is an after-school music program for students who reside in the city of Rochester, and we're committed to bringing exceptional music education and performance experiences to students in our city. So all of these students that you see on stage here, they come either 2 or 3 days a week after school for music instruction throughout the school year. So it's a huge commitment, and we're very proud of the work that they do. We have, as Paul mentioned, a huge array of different musical genres for you tonight. We'll be starting out with some Duke Ellington over here, so jazz represented by our rhythm section students. We'll be continuing with a classical composer. Joseph Bellone was one of the most famous Black classical composers during the 1700s. He's from France, so we'll be doing an arrangement of one of his symphonies. And then our rhythm section will continue with a hip-hop tribute.
And we'll kind of join forces, strings, rhythm, bass, everything. And then we're going to do, it's 50 years of hip-hop. So we're going to do a tribute to hip-hop music with a medley of songs. All right, so get ready. It's going to be hot. So we just have to test the instruments over there. So give us just a moment.
Put your hands together. To the hip hop, a hippie to the hippie to the hip hop. You don't stop rocking to the bang, don't the boogie. Jump the boogie, the boogie, the boogie, the beat. Now what you hear is just a test. I'm rapping to the beat. I got you, and my crew gonna make these streets see. My name is Mr. Carl, and I'm south to say this rhyme. But coming to the mic is my girl Maria talking about.
The media call me a menace. Out of South America, politicians, I'm trying to change your image. You can't play my past no more. Coming to dreams. Mom said I'd never be a superstar, but I know I'm different. I'm the voice of the system making me a choice. So feel that's still unemployed. No felony trying to get void. Child support, your only support. All visit, I'm going to courts. No they're shitting me up. We know I'm not 50. See, I ain't gonna joke about stimulus, but the Radiac came at the clutch. I know some kids wanna hurt themselves. Stop trying to take drugs, I refer to myself. Trying to better myself, trying to better my health. But
All my life, they've been trying to keep me down. All this time, never thought I would make it out. They couldn't break me, they couldn't break me. They couldn't take me, they couldn't take me. No, all my life, they've been trying to keep me down. All my life, they've been trying to keep me down. All this time, never thought I would make it out. They couldn't break me, they couldn't break me. They couldn't take me, they couldn't take me, no. They've been trying to keep me down.
Give it up for rock music. Nice job. The Motown bass? I was just telling her, James Jimerson from Motown. The OGs in the room will remember him. Wow, I just love hearing our students just hit it out of the park like that. Thank you all. This has been so much fun. There's a common theme here. We got some Renaissance people that we're recognizing tonight. Number 2 on our list this evening is Mr. Sean Dunwoody. Like all of the people you're going to see and hear tonight, Sean's talents cross different media, but he is making a difference in this community in so many ways. Sean is Rochester born and raised. Sean may be best known for his murals, which are all around town and increasingly beyond town. But there's also, you'll see him in other media, in other places in the community. Go down to the end of Gibbs Street, where Gibbs Street hits Main Street, right across from right where the Eastman Theater is. And you'll see his extraordinary bust of the great William Warfield in the plaza out there. So it's just, I feel so privileged to have my good friend, Sean. There you are, Sean. Sean Dunwoody, come on up.
How am I going to follow up all that music and hip hop and stuff? What am I going to do? I can't sing. I don't play an instrument. I'm just going to stand here and just talk. Huh? Is that what I'm going to do? Huh? All right. I guess that's what I'm going to do. Where's Miriam? Where is she at? Where'd she go? Miriam, I'm hollering at you in the hallway. I'm hollering at you. I want to say thank you for the opportunity, both of you. I just want to. I want to just talk. I'm just going to talk for a minute. And I wish I would have brought some things to tell some of the stories. I'm going to tell some of these stories and how arts are actually integral in everyone's life. And in particular, arts are integral here in America with African Americans. As you said earlier, Bill, African American history is American history. You wouldn't have 99% of the music if it wasn't for African Americans here. You wouldn't have a lot of movements that are happening in town, so and throughout the country. I tell people all the time, you know, some of the greatest things were created and devised by a people that were considered not worthy to do so. We get things like jazz music, hip hop. I tell people all the time, from the spirit of creativity, we have people that will bust a sag in Japan, Russia, and China. Who else has the power to shape the world that way? And so, in understanding that there's a, oh, you ain't got to clap. Yeah, go ahead, girl. And then I'll start talking like this. Yes. Don't get me to preaching up here. But I learned a lot from, and I have to say I pay respects to Sister Dr. Arlette over here, one of the elders who in my life who have given me opportunities to connect with community, connect with myself, and find out who I am in the world and how to help shape it in any way, form I can. And how that came to be was I was wanting to be an artist, and sometimes in a society, in a system, that's a hard thing to do or for people to grasp. City kid, growing up, didn't have much. I got kicked out of 2 high schools. Yay! That's nothing to, kids go to school if you're here. That's nothing to applaud. I'm just setting the tone for all of it here. Started off young with family, 3 kids by the time I'm 20. Still want to be an artist, want to create things. Trying to find that way. Tried to run a little pharmaceutical business. For those of y'all that don't know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But while engaged in corner conversations, my fellow pharmaceutists were saying, you know what, brother, you're different. You don't belong here. You're doing something different. Go do something else. Do something with that talent you got. You know, you standing out here and you're gonna get us in trouble. Which led me down the path of actually just trying to connect and reach people. And that's why I love the things that Dr. Paul is doing in connecting with these young people, because you never know how you're going to influence someone and shape them. And so to come across elders and people that will bring you in and say, hey, here's something you can learn, and you have a vision, you have a voice, you have a power, you have an energy that you are committed to. There is a wave, there is a current that flows in us that cannot be extinguished, excuse me. There are ripples, actual ripples that are coming out of the Atlantic Ocean that still ride in our hearts. And I realized I wanted to be able to do that. I started off earlier in gallery work, and I was showing things on walls, and I thought I was cool, and I had my cheese and my wine, and I thought, oh, this is so fancy, aren't I fancy? I've made it, I've done it. Addressing audiences and talking to people, and it felt good. Until one day I was addressing one audience, and unlike this audience, nobody in the crowd looked like me. And I said, okay, this is good, but what am I doing? What have I forgotten? Where is that wave? So I literally stopped showing in galleries and doing those things. And I said, if I can't shape the world, if I can't shape the world that I'm in on my own corner, my own block, then what am I doing? If I can't help somebody along the line, what am I doing? So from the age of 15, I wanted to be what I didn't see. So I figured maybe I need to be what I wanted to see when I was at 15 years of age. So I took to the streets, going to corners, but this time I'm tackling stores. And I felt if they can advertise to us all the malt liquor we can have, all the cigarettes we can have, not that anything's wrong with any of those things, we can spread a message from our people on these walls. One example was a corner store. I was painting on Hudson and Durnan, where a year or so or prior to that, an officer was killed there. There's some brothers out there doing, running their mini pharmaceutical business. And we first started off painting a wall brown, and we got the words from the neighborhood, believe in you. And so across the street where Fairbanks is, there's a bus stop, and once again, if advertisers can advertise us all these things that are harming our community, we can advertise something positive. So we started painting that off in brown, and then we ran out of brown paint. The next day we came back and we started painting it blue. So some of my corner mates came over and said, that's the wrong color you painting up there, bro. I was like, oh, okay. You're not representing what's on this block. I was like, but you see the kids working? It's not that bad. They're like, nah, it's all right. Keep going. This look nice. This look nice. After a while of working on it, people stopped. They talked. They had a conversation. They're like, this is a beautiful thing to see. I'm glad to see this. And proof was in the pudding when we were finishing up and wrapping things up. And a mother came by with her 3 kids, and I'll never forget it, her little son walked by, and she was like, Mom, what does that? He was like, Mommy, what does that say? She said, believe in yourself. So from reading off of a wall, she was able to deliver that message. And also a couple of cats that was doing corner businesses in a slap up now and again. They'd be like, oh, here you go, slip you a little something. Believe in yourself, all right? Do what's right. I thought that was amazing that people were still communicating in that way. And this is a way that you can actually leave a mark. Not every move has to be a bold and loud move or a movement. And this is how I've tried to approach things. Because exposure and connectivity are valuable in supporting the arts and people. I'll tell you another story of another corner store I'm painting on Clifford. Down by Portland, out there with the school children from School 45. They're working with us, doing things. We're painting, we're doing things, and it's one of those be yourself sort of, it's still up actually, being enthusiastic, and guys around the corner playing little sidewalk dice. 4, 5, 6 for you know what I'm saying? Having a little conversation, doing little things. And one of the cats gets up and he walks over to me, he's like, yo, man, you was in Africa or something like that, wasn't you? I was like, I was in Africa? He was, yeah, man, I saw you on TV, man. You was painting in Africa. I was like, oh, I was in Brazil. Yes, I was painting in Brazil. He's like, man, that's nice. I like what you're doing in the communities. I like what you're doing. Now, first off, I didn't expect this young man to be watching WXXI. And secondly, I dang on sure wasn't expecting to watch a documentary about me painting in Brazil. But it showed me you never know who you're going to meet and who you're going to expose and who you might give an opportunity to show a path of connectivity, beauty, and art. So as I continue forward, I try to make sure that people are engaged in that process so that people own it. It's part of the people's art. It's not anything I'm doing. It's the people's words. It's the people's hands that are imposed upon this piece. And so I try to do that. I do that as a teach one movement. So if we're all together working on something and I'm painting something yellow, you're going to paint something green. When somebody comes up, you're going to tell them, all right, finish painting that yellow. And then you're going to tell them, oh, that's purple over there. And this is how we work as community. And this is how we build as a community. And this is why I always try to approach that communal approach in making art. And luckily, I just found out today, is it lucky or is it just, it's supposed to happen? Just blessed, there we go. There we go. I will be in the area doing some work. It's not exactly in the Brighton School District, but the building sits in the Brighton property line, if I'm not mistaken. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know nothing about Brighton. Indian Landing School? Yes, yes. I just got word today that we had to go through a historic, it's a historically preserved building, but we did get the okay since we won't be altering much. So I will be working with community members in the area and making things happen. And we'll probably be doing something else in the community to spark some other things in Barrington and in Pittsburgh. I mean, Brighton. I'm naming all kinds of suburbs up here. I'm just rattling off at the mouth. Got me suburb nervous. But with all that, I don't want to detain everyone too long. But you know, if you ever want to find out more, just Google Sean Dunwoody or go to SeanDunwoody.com. If you want to create something, I'm always down to come and work with people, young people in particular, in creation and making things happen. So hopefully our paths will cross and we can do something to shape Brighton in a new direction. Thank you once again for your time. I appreciate it. Whew. That was nerve-wracking. Thank you, bro. You got me nervous up there.
You know, if I'm going to get scooped by anybody on Brighton stuff, I'm glad it's Sean Dunwoody doing it. I am so thrilled. Indian Landing School is on North Landing Road in the town of Brighton. It's a Penfield School District building. Don't ask. There's 5 different school districts in different parts of Brighton. We got a couple of Brighton school board members nodding knowingly. But that's the best news I've heard all day. Thank you, Sean. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. But we do have one more very, very special recognition tonight. I first heard Acoma a number of years ago. I don't remember quite how many years ago now. It was an event at the Rochester Academy of Music. If you've ever been there, beautiful, big brick building on East Avenue with a secret room, by the way. We weren't in the secret room that day, but it is really a special place. I was blown away by Acoma. What an extraordinary group of women. Now, at that point, I didn't know Dr. Arlette Miller-Smith or the role that she played in founding Acoma. At that time, I also didn't know the power of Dr. Miller-Smith's spoken word. I didn't learn that. I didn't learn that until last week. Last week. Was anybody at the Susan B. Anthony dinner? So at the Susan B. Anthony dinner last week, and by the way, happy birthday, Susan B. Anthony today. Happy birthday yesterday, Mr. Frederick Douglass. The power of the spoken word. The keynote speaker at that dinner, Candace Taylor, fascinating talk about various cultural elements, particularly the Green Book, which has always been a topic that just, I have no words. But she was introduced, the keynote speaker, Candace Taylor, was introduced by Dr. Arlette Miller-Smith. And when she got finished speaking, the first words, Candace Taylor, I may not get them quite right here, but she said, I hope somebody videotaped that. I got to tell my agent how good I am. This presentation, this introduction was like nothing I've ever heard. Someone at my table simply said, I hope I should live long enough to be introduced that way. It is a great pleasure to introduce our third icon of the arts and the founder of Acoma, Dr. Arlette Miller-Smith. The floor is yours.
Well, in fact, my voice went right after that. And so I apologize because I am still recovering from whatever it is, but that's okay. We are here, and I have my crew with me, so they already know if the voice absolutely goes, then they will, in fact, take over, right? And let me welcome them. First of all, let me introduce you to, and then I'll tell you a little bit about Acoma. We even have our tech baby, I call her baby conductor. She's here with us, and she actually has put this presentation together. She is our youngest conductor. Please welcome Colette. Colette, stand up, babe, so they can see you. We also have with us our treasurer, which you do not play with the money with this woman at all. And she is our scholarship chair. She will tell you a little bit more about that later. Please welcome Sister Donna. One of our, as we call it, original members, like Original Recipe. Sister Rose Stokes, who also is my soror. Please stand up, Sister Rose. And really, most importantly for you tonight, if you will take a look at the display tables here, we have our historian with us. Sister Evelyn, will you stand up? She and Sister Donna put this together. The table with the yellow cloth is our scholarship table. You will see some of our young women who across this, we are now moving into our, I cannot even believe it, 29th year, somewhere near, Donna, give me the number. $225,000. Right, that has been divided between some 60 scholars, and you will see 160. You will see some of them here on the table. And next to it, because we take our history extraordinarily important. Yes, we are a gospel choir, but we are Black women who want to make sure that there is, in fact, that we have traces of the stream. Traces of the stream means that there is a continuity in terms of who we are, where we are, and that we, in fact, will leave a legacy. And that legacy is our history. We keep track of every single thing. We have books right from the beginning. We also have, you will see the art. We make sure that African American businesses, whatever it is that we need. Cheryl Only, who is Louise's daughter, some of you will recognize her art. There, she does a lot of our jewelry for us as well. You will also see that there is our kente cloth, which, by the way, we will be wearing on 2/21 down at City Hall. Come on down if you want to take a lunch break at noon. We are doing a program on African American women, civil righteous ladies of the gospel. So civil rights women, all the way to ladies of the gospel. Please give my sisters a large hand, please, very large hand. Okay. So you see behind me, I don't like to turn, so I'm just going to take this and I will move over here so that you can see. We are now some 36 strong. When we started back at 1995, some of you may remember 95-75. Anyone remember 95-75? Very important in Rochester's history. So all around New York State in 1995, during that summer, it was the 75th anniversary of, back to Susan B. Anthony and the which amendment? Come on now. 19th Amendment, right? So it was 75 years since the passage of the 19th Amendment. That, my friends, is how Acoma actually got started. I was on the steering committee, and they said, oh, we need to end our weekend in a joyous way. And pray tell, what would that be? They said, oh, we need to have women who are saying, oh, let's have gospel music. And so they pointed at me, okay? And that, in fact, is how Acoma was born. All right, let's change that slide, please, Ms. Collette. So we are primarily Christian-based. We have a church roll, women from various churches throughout Rochester, New York. And of course, we look at a couple different things. One is, of course, the history of who we are as African American women, who we are as African American, in fact, Christian women, but also in terms of the spoken word itself. So I'm going to move on, sweetie, to the next. Then I've already actually told you a little bit about this, about 9575. Let's talk just a bit about the name Acoma. Acoma. It is West African from the Akan tribe, and it means, sisters, patience, endurance, consistency, and faithfulness. Patience, endurance, consistency, and faithfulness. And it was, oh, thank you so much. Right, I won't have to try to do it so hard, right? Oh, thank you so much. All right, I do have my water here, though. So the name Acoma, many of you know Dr. David A. Anderson, Sankofa. He did the research for a name. I went to him and I said, Doc, we've got these women who want to start a gospel choir. We need a name. We want it to be, and I gave him a kind of a list, and he came back with the word Acoma. We loved it, and as they say, the rest is herstory. The rest is herstory, yes. You will see that we have officers. We, in fact, very early on, did our 501c3. I mean, again, when I say we want to make sure that we have left our trace, we will have left our trace. All right, so we are moving on. The next year after we had organized in 1996, we had one of our original members, you will see the lovely face there. That is Mother Nona Patterson Chambers. She was our oldest member. And always, I mean, to the point where I think probably a year before she passed, she never missed a rehearsal and she never missed a concert. And so one day I was talking to her daughter, who also was a member of Acoma, and she said, oh, you know, Mother is taking classes. Now, Mother was in her 80s at that time. And so I'm like, oh, she's taking classes? Yes, she is getting her GED. I mean, come on. Could you not, I mean, who would not be inspired by someone who goes back to school in their 80s to get their GED? And so I said, she, in fact, will be the symbol for our young women in this town, that if she can do it at 80, surely you can do it at 17. And we will help you, right? And that's how this $225,500 came about. All right, so Donna, come on up, babe. That'll give me a chance to drink some water. Donna's going to just tell you a little bit about these young women.
So, as Dr. Arlette has talked to you already, you'll see, I want to start the picture at the bottom, the far left. The lady in the back, that's Queen Esther Pinkston, and she is Mother Nona's daughter. They both were original members of Acoma back when it started in 1995. All right? So she continues today to serve Acoma and to serve the legacy. And even before I go here, I just want to say something. I love how all three of the arts individuals you've chosen to recognize tonight reach back. Did you notice that? They reach back. Dr. Paul Boutte reaches back and pulls those kids all right? Where'd Sean go? He's back there in the corner, you know? And you pull the children in as you do the art and the community. And Acoma, you guys actually, you give us the money. We sing, you give us $225,000, and we give it back to the children so that they can get their education. So
tell them what you do in terms of once they have left us here in Rochester.
So we follow these young ladies and we keep up with them. And it's interesting. So my committee was on the other slide, but we're all in that picture in the bottom. So there's a group of us that are the scholarship committee, and we follow these young women and follow them into adulthood. And then in some instances, they continue to give back to Acoma even when they leave Rochester, because it was such a huge. So when I say follow, I'll give you an example. I have some young ladies, they text me like they're my daughters. Good morning, Miss Donna, how are you? Right? And so I check on them during midterms. I check on them during the holidays. And so we not only give them money, we give them the mentoring. And I believe that's what the kids get from Dr. Paul Boutte, and that's what they get from Mr. Dunwoody. So that I find amazing. So let me stop rambling. Dr. Arlette has actually already covered everything on this slide. Okay. Mother Nona. It's all good. Okay. Mother Nona was a blessing to us in giving us the inspiration, and so we impart that into the children. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to go sit down. All right? So advance, let's see what's next. Let's see if I know it. So Acoma, I joined in 2014, right? And since then, we've hit a lot of spots, but a lot of these spots were even before that. So Louise Slaughter's memorial service, I was blessed to sing there. But you'll see.
Adopted her. She came
yes.
to so many concerts.
I'm a little, yeah. But you'll see Desmond Tutu. Acoma sang with Desmond Tutu, right? Okay? The Philharmonic Orchestra, right? And so we hope if you guys are available, we are at the city on the 21st, as Dr. Arlette said. We are also, something we've done every year with our brothers, which you'll talk to a little later, is the Heritage Concert. So on March 2nd, we will be at Mount Vernon, doing a concert there. And we take up, with our brothers, we take up an offering, we split it in half. They give a portion to the young men in Rochester, and then we take a portion and donate it to the young ladies that are going off to college in Rochester.
And the history is really important. Tell them a little bit about this picture, Donna, here.
So St. Bonaventure, oh, my blessed Father, he is so sweet. So Father invites us to come to St. Bonaventure to do a program for their students, all right? And it was just very interesting. We get there, and we do the program, and he comes to rehearsal. He's sitting up in the back, and at the end of rehearsal, we do a little dry run. He's up in tears, and he actually stood up and told us, he said, you know, I invited you here for the students, but you really came here for me, you know, and the rehearsal ministered to him. And I'll tell you, I was going through some changes. I had hearing loss during that time. So imagine I'm a soprano singing, and I can't hear you, okay? And even in rehearsal, the Spirit of the Lord came in, and the anointing, and just Father's in the back crying, I'm up front praising. And then when we do the service, he presents us with a check for $5,000 for the scholarship fund. You know, so it's just amazing to me that I can do something I love doing and that people give. And then we can take that money and turn it back into scholarships to enable young African-American women to go off and fulfill their dreams. So our website, you'll get the information. Go there. If you know a young woman that's graduating this year, have her fill that scholarship out, and we will be more than happy to give her some money.
Yes, thank you so much. What I wanted to tell you, though, about St. Bonaventure is, again, we do lots of research. Any program that we're doing, we do research in relationship to the theme or what is going on. And so I was introduced to Sister Dr. Thea Bowman. Any Catholics in here? Catholics? Yeah, so you know Thea Bowman, right? And I started doing research on this African American nun who was born and raised, as I was, in the Deep South, who also had gone on to school, eventually getting a PhD during the time frame, though, that she was, in fact, a sister, also who was teaching and who sings. It sounds like a coma to me. So I am enthralled with Thea Bowman to this day, and in fact, in the spring, we're going to be doing a new piece on Thea Bowman over at Rose, what's the name of your church? Immaculate Conception. They are bringing one of the men who, in fact, put together a video, a documentary on her, and we presented our music around the theme of the work of Sister Thea Bowman. So when I say history is important, history is important. All right, I'm going to move along. We have talked about our tables over here, and we really invite you to go and see. Again, we keep track of everything. We have every single program from 1995 all the way to 2023. These are the last two that you're seeing there. We have a theme for each of those programs as well. And on them, we also keep track of what churches that our sister members are coming from. Those churches support us. The pastors are there to help us, and along with our, as we call them, our Acoma men. So this is about community. This is not simply about a group of women, as good as it is, to get up and sing. We really want to make an impact on our community. And so next, all right, I'm going to ask the four of you to come and do just a little fashion show right here. Okay, move. Here we go. Okay, so you saw Donna, all right? This is baby conductor and historian and Sister Rose. Now, Annie Mae, what do you see in terms of, aren't we beautiful? We are absolutely beautiful. Come on, you can clap for that. Okay? So what do you see here? Anything you notice? Donna, turn around, because she has on. Okay. So you see the materials there? When we organized in 1995, one of the things that the 95-75 committee gave to me, I asked them if we could get fabric for the women so that people could distinguish us in terms of as a group. Remember, we had no name. This is August of 1995. And the material that, in fact, I selected is exactly what I have on. We call it the original recipe, okay? It is and it set the stage and the tone for everything that we would wear from then on. So we always wear black. We accent it with one of these fabrics. You will see most of them here. You will see that the wax is retired, and the only reason it's retired is because we could not get enough of it to make sure that into the future, when we had new sisters coming in, that there would be enough for them. All of our materials are authentic in terms of from Africa. And so this is a part of who we are and our particular rituals. Silver Fox, right here, is very important to us because our wardrobe director has passed on. She was involved in selecting every single one of our fabrics, and the last one that she selected was, in fact, this silver fox. Okay, thank you, ladies, so much. Is that fascinating? Okay, I'm running on. We also want to let you know that in terms of keeping track of who we are and our legacy, that there are, and I think we have some portion of it here on the table, but if you notice the table here in the center and the hearts, for every one of our sisters who have transitioned, as we say, to that heavenly choir, there is a heart that moves onto that chair. The chair goes with us to every major concert so that they are there with us, they are singing, they are in fact in the cloud of witnesses. And these are our last three here. Desiree Bliss, she was our wardrobe person. All right, moving straight on. Okay, thank you so much. In the pandemic, we tried to think of ways that we could still be in contact with each other and still have a sense of community. And so we did several different things. We would meet online, we would have dinner online, we would play games, the whole 9 yards. Well, one of the things that happened during the pandemic that since that time is continuing are the Acoma Warrior Walkers. They walk every Wednesday. Anybody who wants to go, there's one right there. She's an Acoma Walker. Every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, if you want to go, just get in touch with Evelyn over there. And during that time frame, we pulled all of the things that we were going together under Sisters Sharing Pearls. And so those are our Acoma Warrior Walkers. And we have brothers, the Voices of Thunder. We love our brothers. We will be with them on 3/2 for the annual Heritage Concert. And whatever we wear, they wear something that complements it because we are a community. On 3/2, we're going to be wearing our red, and they will be wearing red ties as well. And so we are here. Not only do we have our sisters on the other side, do we do our research in terms of Acoma, we also have adopted a poem called Room Full of Sisters that comes from Mona Lake Jones, who used to be a former poet laureate in Seattle. She has actually come and sung with us here in Rochester. So we are, in fact, tonight, and I'll wait until the end to do that, which we are actually right there. Colette, let's move, and we'll come back. So this, of course, is we never lose an opportunity. We're just like a church, okay? Never lose an opportunity to say, hey, there are ways that you can donate, but all of us are here, so please, please feel free. And again, our next slide, we're showing you, again, the opportunity for you to come and to be with us. And so I want to end with what we typically kind of begin with, but we also kind of end with it too. So we are a room full of sisters. We are a Brighton town hall full of sisters, like jewels in a crown, vanilla, cinnamon, and sweet dark chocolate brown. Now imagine yourself in the midst of this glory as I describe my sisters. We are all a part of the story. We're wearing black accented with gold and nutmeg brown, and on top of our heads, some of us are wearing open crowns. But it's not about how we fashionably appear. It is all about the beauty and fact that we revere, because all of us are smart, articulate, and well-read, like and have all kinds of Black history stored in our heads. Now imagine, if you will, the essence and the thrill as you sit feeling proud in the heart of this Acoma crowd. I said it is a room full of sisters, like jewels in a crown, vanilla and sweet, dark chocolate brown. It is Acoma, Rochester's African American Women's Gospel Choir, Acoma, whose name means patience, endurance,
Consistency
and
faithfulness.
oh, Lord have mercy. Thank you so much.
Bravo. Bravo. Thank you so much. The power of the spoken word. Thank you, Dr. Miller Smith. And again, I want to make sure everybody, our three honorees do stay, because we are going to bring them back up here at the end. But next, I'm going to bring up Brighton Town Council member, Robin Wilt, for her remarks on Black Americans in the arts. Robin, as I mentioned a moment ago, not only sits on the town board, she serves as the town board's liaison to our IDEA board. To refresh your memory, that's our Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Advisory Board. Robin also chairs the town board's Community Services Committee. Councilmember Robin Wilt.
Well, I have this distinct pleasure of following not one, but three inimitable acts, so I will make this very quick. I want to thank everyone for coming to Brighton's official recognition of Black History Month. As we all know, Black History Month is an annual tradition in the United States that recognizes the remarkable achievements and pivotal role that African Americans have played throughout U.S. history. It serves as a time to honor our contributions and legacy across various domains, including activism, civil rights, industry, politics, science, culture, and more. But above all, it serves to remind us that Black history is American history. Since 1976, every US president has officially designated February as Black History Month. As we've heard, this year's theme for Black History Month is African Americans and the Arts. It explores the profound influence that African Americans have had in fields such as visual and performing arts, literature, fashion, folklore, language, film, music, architecture, culinary arts, and other cultural expressions. This evening, we enjoyed the profound works and perspectives of a few local history makers in the arts. I want to again extend our deepest thanks to Dr. Paul Boutte and Rock Music, Sean Dunwoody, and the inimitable Dr. Arlette Miller Smith. Such is the importance and intersection of African American arts into life that in Nicole Hannah Jones's anthology, The 1619 Project, which explores the origins and history of people of African descent in America, she dedicates an entire chapter to music. In it, Hannah Jones notes that it wasn't necessarily the creation of Black music that Motown's co-founder and chief architect Berry Gordy envisioned, but rather to make American music. Jazz artists like Duke Ellington and Thelonious Monk and Louis Armstrong strove to redefine the all-purpose American label, only to realize that their Blackness had rendered them incompatible with Americanness. In order to appropriate the culture, producers would repackage Black music in white performers. With the advent of Motown, however, through its genius of mass distribution of Blackness in a manner that neither apologized for Black expression nor adulterated it, Gordy first overcame white America's ambivalent appetite for Blackness and firmly established what African Americans always understood about Black culture, that it is, indeed, American culture. As Hannah Jones so eloquently states, from that point forward, art that emerged in poverty, from want, in despair, art forged in immoral quarantine, that is, in segregation, would take place at the center of everything. Art created by visionaries, innovators, and synthesists who had previously existed on the margins of American wealth and power would become the sun around which the culture orbited. Our featured speakers and performers tonight embody that essence of Black art as American art and the center of unique expressions of activism and Americanism. Thank you so much.
That's great. Great. Thank you. Okay. Now, I want to bring back up Sean Dunwoody, Dr. Paul Boutte, and Dr. Arlette Miller-Smith. Please join Councilmember Wilt and myself here at the podium. This is a celebration. This is a ceremony. And this is a month that is recognized by Americans across the world, across the country, and right here in Brighton. And in recognition of February as Black History Month, we will be reading and presenting proclamations from the town of Brighton, signed by the members of the town board, to our three icons tonight. And Councilmember Wilt and I will tag team this reading. Whereas, and by the way, we also noted this last night at our town board meeting. Whereas, since its establishment in 1976, Black History Month has become increasingly influential in educating our country about the significant contributions African Americans have made to the social, scientific, and cultural growth of the United States. And
whereas, as our country continues to struggle with uncovering and acknowledging the depth and breadth of systemic racism, it is powerful and necessary to learn about and reflect upon the ways African Americans have managed to survive and even thrive despite the innumerable barriers they face. And
whereas the 2024 theme for Black History Month is African Americans and the Arts, which encourages us to explore the many impacts Black Americans have had on visual arts, music, cultural movements, and more. And
whereas African American poets, writers, visual artists, and dancers have historically served as change agents through their crafts and continue to do so today. And
whereas local artists, Dr. Arlette Miller-Smith, founder of Multicultural Affairs at St. John Fisher University and founder of ACOMA, an African American women's choir, Dr. Paul Boutte, this is a long proclamation, and performers from Rock Music, a free music program for children in the city of Rochester, and Sean Dunwoody, an award-winning designer and artist, are all excellent examples of how African American artists enrich our community through performance, arts education, and visual arts. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, William W. Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor, and Councilmember Robin Wilt, and all of the members of the Brighton Town Council, do hereby recognize February 2024 as Black History Month in the town of Brighton, and further recognize Dr. Arlette Miller-Smith, Dr. Paul Boutte, and Sean Dunwoody for their artistic expression, leadership, and positive impact on the African American community and the arts in general by sharing their voices and vision with us. Signed this 14th day of February 2024 by myself and by the members of the Brighton Town Council who were here in town, Councilmember Robin Wilt, Councilmember Christine Corrado, and Councilmember Nathaniel Nate V. Salzman. And we have a copy of this proclamation to present to each of our icons tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It didn't come with a check, though. Where's the check? Where's the check?
Where's Miriam? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. To these icons, let's have one more round of applause. You know, as Robin was talking, I thought about one of the seminal lines in music, specifically in the blues. B.B. King said it, you gotta suffer if you wanna sing the blues. And I think we heard that loud and clear. But tonight, we're not suffering, we're celebrating. We are celebrating three icons, three leaders of the city of Rochester and the Rochester area. We are blessed to have each of you grace Brighton Town Hall tonight. I want to thank you all. I want to thank all of our folks that are here with us tonight. And may you all remember the rest of this month, the rest of this year, each day as African American History or Herstory Month. And remember that not only is Black history American history, you heard it tonight, Black arts are American arts. Thank you all for coming. Have a good evening.